You're so funny.
Just making my heart race.
I know.
Right there.
You would see us on WDRB.
Andrea, this is all Andrea.
Look, my arm is itching. I'm allergic.
Oh no, she's
to
gonna
that.
break out time.
I actually had poison ivy, but it's healing. But you know,
I'll get them. Andrea, you want me to get them? You are?
are you? What is it called? Oh, now, what are you not gonna forget?
This is the monthly Asian panel.
I looked in there
So
yesterday.
we're gonna be doing these once a month, like Blackstone does the training once a month. We're gonna do an Asian panel once a month. This month, it's top producers. It's not always gonna be top producers. Maybe next time it'll be the staff. So we'll figure that out as
Or
we
the
go. Well, I
media
think we
department.
already have one
Media,
for
but
next
then
month,
how are
right?
the films?
Okay, perfect.
They just set it up.
Talk about the changing market next time.
Oh, the
Deal.
changing market, the changing market.
Take your picture, baby.
Carrie from this, Krista.
Laura.
and Tiffany Welch.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect.
My filter's blurry. It's fine.
Was it, is it
Do
blurry?
it again.
I think
Clean up
we
your
do-
camera.
Do it again. 'Cause
Do it
I
again.
know
Do a normal
that
camera.
looks like we have a
Okay.
special filter.
Okay, friend.
Which I wasn't opposed to, but I feel like.
Oh, I want to be in the picture.
1, 2, 3.
I wanted to go.
You messed
Deal.
up the symmetry.
That's better.
Sorry. All right, I'm just waiting on media to tell me when they're ready.
We're so nervous about all these things.
It's just a mistake.
I
It's
feel
all
like-
that shit that they
I feel like we need to switch places because
Why?
we're shorts.
Nah, girl. Good.
legs on legs.
Legs on legs. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm always nervous.
Jump up and down.
Thanks. Happy birthday.
That's chair jumping.
Whose birthday?
Whose birthday?
No,
She's lying.
Oh.
he said say something. That's the happy birthday.
Oh. 1, 2, 3 test.
Yeah.
Like that?
You're good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're all good?
Yep. Ma'am. I'm just kidding.
Hold on, my email wants me to authenticate myself real quick.
Oh, good lord.
I know.
1, 2, 3.
I just realized I'm not really good
Now
on
it's
camera.
just
I
gonna-
forgot I didn't realize this was gonna be this.
Oh, yes! I forgot about that!
Mic check,
We
Carrie.
used to do mic check. 1, 2, Gary's butt crack. She's probably glad we forgot about that. Old
As soon
school.
as she said 1, 2, it just like rattled off. Carrie's
Was that from the old
Yes,
location?
yeah, because one time she bent over and I saw her butt crack. I was like, Gary's butt crack.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna put these on bloopers.
It's not one of the Blu-ray reels.
Is it?
From like however many years ago, but yeah. That's
Maybe time to bring it back.
Oh, is something wrong with my hair?
Yeah.
It's like you had a little ponytail
Keep it
there.
together.
I slept in a ponytail last night.
You felt one little like.
I slept in the bottom.
Y'all, I'm not perfect.
Oh, you're pretty
So we
close.
know.
Oh,
Okay, are we good?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Jeff.
thank you, Andy.
As y'all can see, this panel is very important, not only to us, to make sure we get it right. We wanted to record it, to send it out to people that are not here in person, and then also use some of it on our social media. So, okay, for those of you that don't know, we have Krista Richmond, Ryan Cecil, Laura Wheeler, and Ashley Spillman. So, we have spent some time, we have gone through some questions, we have even role-played a couple of the answers. There is no right or wrong answer in these questions, it is just how they individually do their business, okay? Because there is no right or wrong way, just as long as you are not violating the law or ethics, right? Doesn't matter how you get the contract signed. So, all right, Krista,
Yes.
how long have you been in the business?
8 years.
8 years.
Mhm.
Excellent, okay. Ryan Cecil,
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Laura,
15.
15
This
years.
November we'll be starting my 16.
You'll be starting 16. That's
I feel
awesome.
really old.
You're not old. And Ashley, how long have you been in the business?
Just over 2 years.
Just over 2 years. So as y'all can see, these agents were selected based upon not only their time in the business, but also what they have done in the business. So that you're getting a wide range, not somebody who's been in the business for 20 years or someone who's been in the business for 6 months. So there are all different types of levels in this business, and it doesn't necessarily matter how long you have been in the business. All right, Ashley, what do you love about being a real estate agent?
It's a good question. What do I love? Well, I guess for myself personally, I am in a position that if I went a different route, I wouldn't ever be in. Like, I would never be able to own a home now or have the leverage and the education if I never did real estate. And so I think that it's given me like a set of knowledge that has like put me on a different path. And then what I love for other people is you're doing the same thing for them. You're putting like their financial future on a different path. Like my favorite is those first time home buyers who can just barely buy, but they will have a different financial situation 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road just because they bought that first time, even if they barely did it, you know. So I think I would say like the position it puts you in, and I love being able to do that for other people.
Excellent. Ryan, what do you love about being in this business?
I love helping people. I remember when I first got my very first clients under contract, I cried because it was in 2021 when the market was crazy and we had been beat out so many times, and we finally got our offer accepted. And like the feeling that I had when, and they were also very close friends of mine, the feeling that I had when I got them under contract was something that I'd never felt in the corporate world, and just the gratitude and being able to help people achieve their home dreams. And also I love the flexibility that it allows me, even though I feel like I work a whole lot more. I also am able to go with my kids to field trips and just kind of create my own schedule. That's kind of, that's what I love about it.
I love when agents say, I want to get in the business because I want to have a flexible schedule. My response is always, great. You're going to work when your clients want you to work.
Yeah.
If you want to make some money. Would you say that's a fair statement?
Absolutely.
But the trade-off is, yes, you do get to go and do the fun things. Like Mike talked about going down to the lake when he wanted to. So I know Charlie is here today with Ryan. So, and what a great role model you're being for your daughter. So, all right, Laura, what do you love about being in the business?
So I think I'm kind of weird. I like a puzzle. Like I've always sort of been in sales, like ever since I can remember. But I like to figure out, okay, what do they want and how am I going to get that for them? And sometimes like the more difficult, the more satisfying it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the easy, you know, but I like trying to get in somebody's head. And my favorite thing is when like there was a lady in Florida that's moving back here, and I sent her a few and she's like, you've got me pegged. You know, it's like kind of a challenge for me to figure that out. And I am a people pleaser, but it's also given me some confidence that I didn't have before. I've always been in sales, but you have to have confidence, and I just didn't think I could do real estate. I always wanted to, but once I got into it and started doing it, my contract to close person where I sold Yellow Page ads was my first client, and she trusted me with a $90,000 house, and we sold it on Christmas Eve, and I didn't even have a mentor or anything, and I just scrambled through it, had a great agent on the other side helping me, and I liked that sense of community too.
It's definitely a community. I feel like all of us are one community. We are all trying to figure out what we're going to do next in our business and collaborating with others. And that's what makes it really fun for me, at least. All right, Krista, what do you love about this?
I mean, all of you all said great things, like meeting new people, building relationships. I became a realtor right after college, so very young, didn't know anything, came straight from bartending and serving at a restaurant. So it's been really cool to just like don't have a ceiling. You have the opportunity for high earnings. You can make $50,000 if you don't put much into it, or you can make $200,000. I feel like truly you get what you put into your business, and continuously learning. I think I've already said that, but I feel like you always can be learning in real estate, which is super cool. And the job satisfaction too, like
kind of piggybacking on what Laura said, like problem solving. The more challenging the deal is, the more I kind of like it. So it's been great. Like the opportunities that real estate has put in my life are truly amazing. Yeah.
Those were all good answers. So here's what I learned. You got a challenging problem, call Laura, call Krista. They're gonna be very satisfied.
I also thrive in chaos, like chaos is my jam. So like Marsha, yes.
I might fall apart afterwards.
Yes, exactly.
I think there's a lot of common things that we all have. If you're gonna be in this business, really, you have to be willing to help people. You have to be willing to, put that at the forefront and not necessarily, your commission. When I first got in the business, there was a big sign hanging up in the training room that said, no commission is worth your reputation. And I still firmly believe that. So, all right, those are some warm-up questions, so you kind of get to know who these ladies are. So are we ready? Who wants to take the first one?
What's the first question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to know what it is
All right.
before I commit.
Yeah.
Okay. How will you change your business practices after the implementation date? Who wants to take that one
I can
first?
first.
All right, Ryan,
You go.
take it on.
I would just say, I don't think my business really is gonna change much, because I think as long as you're communicating with your sellers and your buyers, then not a lot's gonna change in my business, I don't think. You just have to be upfront and honest and lay it all out there, like they have no idea what's going on. And as long as you communicate, I think that things aren't really gonna change much.
Yeah, I think also if you aren't doing buyer consultations, this is a great time to implement into your business. I've been doing buyer consultations from the beginning, and I think it kind of sets, it may be a friend or someone you went to college or high school with or at the gym, and they don't really see that professional side of you. It kind of sets the tone. Like it's like, oh, there's professional Krista, not just gym Krista. Or, and that's a good time to present that buyer agreement to them and commit to them. And if you're going to commit to them, they're going to commit to you. And if they're not going to commit to me, I don't want to work with them.
Right.
So I don't think, I kind of piggyback off Ryan, I don't think a lot of it's going to change because I already do buyer consultations. I haven't gotten buyer agreements signed in the past, but I will moving forward. So that will definitely be a change. And also setting the expectation. Like I feel like that is one of the biggest things, is just having the hard conversations up front. So.
Yeah, I think I'm similar to that, and I've always done buyer consultations, but the thing I'm not good at is being assertive with the paperwork and like, hey, you need to do this now, because I always have done it like at the time we get under contract or like after we get under contract, which I know is not technically right, but it's just how I've always done it and it's always worked. And I've even had clients that they felt like other people were shoving stuff down their throat, and then they felt like I was not doing that. And so I think there's like a level of confidence you can build obviously without that, but I think now obviously it forces all of us to have to do that. But I think we were talking about it yesterday, and I think the biggest thing is if you educate people, like obviously that like this is now a standard practice that everyone has to do, but then I think the reason people feel so like, I don't want to sign something up front with that is if you educate people like, you know, hey, this is how this works, blah, 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 and then how also like if at any time, you know, my services are not what you expected them to be, or you're not satisfied, like this is, you can terminate this at any time, this is how it works. I mean, I think it holds us to even more of a standard that, because I think the hard thing about real estate is not everyone like views us always as a professional unless we make them view us as a professional because of all the other things they see. So for me, coming back to the question, it's just being more assertive and, but also like educational about like, this is what this is and this is why we have to do this now. But I think that the people that like respect you and want to work with you will always respect that too, so.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think this really promotes a lot of transparency in a business and an industry that didn't have that much transparency before, at least on the buy side. I mean, you know, who has advertised that their services are free as a buyer's agent, right? We were doing that a year ago, right? So that's been a change, okay? Laura, how about you?
I totally agree with what they said. I would add, you know, I used to do the buyer consultations, and then 2020 and 2021, it's like, quick, meet me at this house, multiple offers, and just got listed 10 minutes ago. So I got away from it because we were just like surviving, meeting them at the house, writing that offer on our phone real quick. But it's shifting, and I think we've got to get back to that and proving my worth, or demonstrating, showing my worth. So getting some designations, accredited buyer, and I work with a lot of sellers too, and I think just educating them on both sides is, you know, on how this process works. It's not just finding you the house, it's everything from contract
It's all
to
the
close
problem
and all
solving,
of
right?
Yeah, it's all the
Yeah.
pitfalls that you don't even know about.
Exactly,
You know?
it's all the
So,
things that they don't
value.
even know that can go wrong.
Yeah,
That it's primarily.
because they don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah,
So we
that's
have
right.
to teach. So
Excellent. All right, Krista.
Already went.
You gotta go again.
New question now.
is that what's the
New
music?
question now.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so in the feedback, we have gotten, you know, like, what is it that we should be saying to our clients to get them to sign the buyer agency agreement? You know, what are some role plays? So I'm gonna throw it to Krista first.
Okay.
And you already kind of gave one of your answers away. You can just repeat it. What are some one-liners that you say when you're in your buyer consultation and you're pulling out the exclusive agreement and you're explaining how you work?
I do that at the very end. So I go over the entire buying process. I have a little bubble sheet that I use. And it kind of just goes over everything. Like Ernest, you know, us finding the houses, how I'm gonna help you find the house. Maybe I'm gonna, you know, try to find one off market. Maybe I'm gonna try to find one in-house. We have this awesome system, Broker Engine. We put our upcoming homes on there. So I may be able to find you something off market. We're gonna be working diligently to try to find you the house that you want. I go over the earnest money deposit, the inspection, you know, the financing, the appraisal, all of that. Get them set up on search. Right then I pull it up on the computer. That way they can kind of see the back end of the MLS. If you're using MLS or if you're using Sierra, whatever you're using. And that kind of helps them, because sometimes I get clients that are like, you just asked me one liner and I'm totally rambling, but sometimes I get clients that are like, well, you're sending me, some of these houses that you're sending me on MLS are not really what I'm looking for, but if I had that buyer consult with them and that showed them the back end of MLS, they kind of better understand why they're getting the homes that they're getting in their inbox. So then I present the buyer exclusive agreement to them, and I'm like, I'm gonna work with you, you know, represent your best interest, try to get you the best deal, explain everything. I'm a hand holder. I'll hand hold you from, you know, the time we get under contract to the time we get to the closing table. I'll be there after for you for closing. I'll check in 1 month after you close if you need a plumber, if you need a roofer, if you need a contractor, whatever you need. I'm committed to working with you. Are you committed to working with me? If so, sign this paper. If something happens, you can rip it up and we can terminate it. You can fire me, I can fire you. But I need this commitment to be able to move forward with you.
Excellent. So in there, I picked up the I commit to you, you commit to me. That was something that I picked on that she said. Exclusivity, offering up the brokerage engine. Those are some of the things that I picked up on in Krista's answer.
I think what's great is she said, let them, sorry, I'm messing up your video.
No.
I like having them sit there and pick the criteria with you.
Well, I'll just show you. Yeah.
I think that's huge.
It
All
helps.
right, Laura, what
So
are some of your one-liners to convince?
one-liner.
I give you 10 lines.
And convey
So
the value?
after I've proven my value or demonstrated that, I'll let them know, you know, I only commit to about 10 buyers at one time because it's really tough to help you fully unless, you know, I have the time. And anything more than that, and I'm gonna kind of be spread too thin, and any other agent would be as well. And I'm pretty efficient. So what I let them know is, you know, once I get to 10, it's iffy whether I could commit to you or not. But if you're willing to commit today, you can be one of that 10, that group of 10.
So you kind of make it like a club.
I mean,
like
it's,
that.
That's a great
I'm
idea.
sort of.
I like that.
All right.
More viewers, buyer club.
And then we probably should get badges or something.
Yeah, that's a
t-shirts.
Facebook group and brownies coming. Okay. All right, Brian, how about
Don't
you?
pick on me. I don't have any one-liners. Honestly, I just tell people how it is. I am very upfront and honest, and that shows in my social media. I'm like, look, if you want to know anything about me, go to the internet.
Oh, God.
Because you're going to see me and my personality, and I want you to work with me because you like me and you like my personality and you think that we would vibe. If I'm not your type, that's fine. I'm sure there's somebody that is, but I'm going to go to bat for you if you're going to sit and work with me.
So in that answer from Ryan, I am hearing the authenticity of who she is. Either you like who I am and you want to work with me, or you don't like who I am and you can work with another agent. That's what, which is totally fine. Really, it is. It's totally fine. If I have to work with another doctor, I swear to God. All right, Ashley, what are some things that you say in your buyer consultations?
Okay, I want to talk about yours before I get to mine, but I like about yours because I think sometimes buyers think you are only looking for them and that you literally do nothing else in the day other than have that person. And I think that conveys, like I'm hearing you say that and I'm like, that's something I should convey to people. I like how you're saying that because some people understand that like we're busy and we have all these people and we don't have time for just them. Like we do have time for them, but we don't have time for just them. That we do all these other things and we don't just sit around in our house all day and do nothing.
You can be in the club.
But I like that because I think that's something for me that I want to convey more, that I like that. But my one-liner, and I guess I was thinking more about like with the buyer consult when we're trying to push that paperwork that a lot of us feel weird about. How I've heard it said, it's not really originally my verbiage, but I use it and I like it, is just simply saying like when you show that, explain like what it is and then saying this is what hires me as your agent. So instead of saying like, because sometimes the like hire fire, I'm like, it just sounds kind of aggressive and I'm like not aggressive and I'm not like assertive that way, or I don't like to be naturally. I don't know. But I think that just kind of makes it plain and simple because the connotation to me is different of like, it's just, this is what hires me as your agent, this is how this works. So I like that. But then I guess with other, because we've kind of talked about like buyer consultations, my favorite thing to do in a buyer consultation is not a one-liner, but I kind of give a one-liner for every section of the contract. My favorite thing, and even if, I wanted to circle back to you on this too, when we were talking about like, okay, when you have those buyers that they're like, hey, I want to go see this house, and you're like, okay, I'll show you the house, but you can lose someone really quickly if you show them the house and like you guys never really communicate again. And also it's hard to gauge, like, are they someone who's going to commit to me or not? What I do with people is I tell them, hey, do you want to meet before or after and chat through like the whole process and how all of this works, about how I work, about the market, the contract, like the things that if I were buying, I would want to know. And so the things that I like to convey to every client that I work with. So giving people, it's A or B, not do you want to, it's just before or after, what works better for you. And so I make people do that because if they want to go see a house, they have to sit down with me too. And it's like not optional, it's just part of it. But my favorite thing in a buyer consult is I literally show people a contract, I filled out one, and I show them and explain to them, this is how this works, this is why you need to know this is how this works, this is why you need to know this. And so many people say like, oh, no one's ever shown me that, and then it makes it so easy when you write up a contract because you can say, do you remember when we talked about that? And remember how I told you, like, maybe I didn't tell you every detail about everything, but I told you at this point, you have a couple options. We can do this, here's the implications, we can do this, here's the implications, and people are like, I like that. Or Ashley, what do you think? Okay, I'll do that. And I think for me, that's been like, because I'm so buyer heavy, just because I'm young and newer to the business, writing offers I think is my favorite part of the whole thing, even when there's 10 million already in the can on the other side. But because like, I think that's the thing I've mastered. I've not mastered everything in business, but I think I've mastered like walking people through this and getting them to like a place where they know enough to where they're confident and comfortable and like they know what it means. And they've had time to think about those things that by the time we're doing that, they already know. They've already thought through it and thought through things. They've already asked me questions, all that. So I think
So that's a perfect segue to our next question. So all of these agents up here have different personalities, different time in the business, different types of clients that they work with. But one thing that we always have to do is we have to be able to have hard conversations with our clients. Like when that appraisal comes in low and you have the seller and now they have lost $15,000 of imaginary money, right? So, Ryan, how do you handle difficult clients or negotiations to ensure a successful closing? How do you handle crazy? Let me sum it up.
Well, I'm a little crazy, so we can just kind of go crazy together. No, I just think honesty, being 100% transparent. You know, if you got an appraisal that comes in low, look, this is what we have to do. Like, if you decide to not move forward, then we go back to the market. The appraisal's still the same price, it's still low. You know, what are you going to do? I think just honesty and being upfront with your clients throughout the entire process just makes things go smoother.
Krista, how about you?
Stating the facts and trying to work through. I mean, there's every client and situation is completely different. That's one thing I love about real estate. No day is the same. But really figure it out. Like, if the appraisal comes in low, I want to try to get a copy of that appraisal, look through it. I'm calling Mary or Liz. Like, I'm looking through this. Maybe this doesn't add up. Like, is there anything I can do on that side to maybe get another appraisal? But if not, this is where we are. Here's your options. And having that hard conversation and maybe kind of standing firm on the other side and being like, well, they're not willing to come down. Are you willing to meet us in the middle? Like, what's going to make my client happy? Yeah, I think that's really. And sometimes, like, handling tough deals is doing it your damn self. I've had a couple of walkthroughs lately that were honestly like shit shows, and I had to call contractors myself and figure out how much it's going to cost. And I call the other agent and I say, look, you are the seller's liable. Who is it? Because here's what the issue is. Here's how much it's going to cost to fix. We're not closing, so you can either fix it or not close. So
Those are good answers.
very professionally and kindly, but assertive.
It's always important when you haven't closed yet, dig your heels in the ground and just say we're not closing. One of the things that I find when I'm dealing with crazy, which is what I signed up to do every single day, being calm and being patient and listening are extremely big skills that you need when you're dealing with crazy. A lot of times people just want to be heard. So Laura, how do you handle those difficult situations?
What you just said, you listen, and you don't listen while you're checking your phone. Like, you listen, which I'm bad about that. But you listen, actively listen, and then let them finish. They want to be heard. And this works with your spouse too, or your kids. They want to be heard, and then after they're done, don't interrupt, but after they're done, say, okay, what I heard you say was this, this, and this, right? And then kind of a little trust checker, make sure yes, that is what I said. And then you move on from there and you solve those problems, right? Because I'm a puzzle solver. When they say this, and this are my concerns, okay, let's address that first one, and now the second one, now the third one. Does that make you feel better? Another trust checker. You know, see if they're tracking with you and on the same page. And somehow that can diffuse.
I believe it really does. There's one acronym that I use, it's called TREAT. It stands for track it, restate it, exclude it, answer it, tie it down, okay? So that's when you're tracking, like Laura said, hey, what exactly is going on? Restating it as well for clear understanding, excluding it. If I solve this problem for you, can we move forward? Answer it, here's my proposed solutions, and then tie it down, are you ready to go? So that's one way. Ashley, how do you handle crazy? Because I know you've been in the thick of it and have called me with crazy.
Yeah, I've had some crazy. I've done it. Well, I think one part of, there's a couple things, just hearing other people talk. I think one thing is it's a skill to not freak out. I mean, personality types of agents are different. I feel like I have a low threshold and it's easy for me to like freak out when something's happening. And so I think doing more and more crazy, insane deals and scenarios and whatnot, I think that it's a skill to learn to be calm and to be able to be like, okay, here's what I can do for you. I'm gonna check into this. And so giving people kind of, even if you don't have the solution, like, this is what I'm gonna do for you, and I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'll come back to you and we'll talk about it. So I think that, and then I think the same thing too, like being candid with people. Like, honestly, I've never had this happen before, but real estate, every deal is different, and we just figure out every single time. That's something I do hit on in the buyer consult, and so a lot of times I tell people, like, remember, hey, we talked about this, that every deal is different, things happen, and we just take it as it comes. So I think that, like, you know, being calm with people. And then I think another thing too is like knowing what you're working with. If you have the kind of people, like, you can give them options all freaking day of like, this is what we can do, this is what we can do, this is what we can do. Sometimes there's people who literally, like, it doesn't matter how many options and things. And so, like, don't exhaust yourself on the people who don't appreciate those efforts or don't, you know, like, I'm a big believer, because I worked so many leads in the beginning. Like, there were people I could tell immediately who were going to commit to me, who were going to like me, who were going to work with me, and who were going to be pleasant. And then there were people who I'm going to pull out my hair, and maybe I can close the deal or whatnot and learn. But, like, at the end of the day, I have to be like, was that really worth it? Probably not. And so I think, like, being cognizant of, like, what you're working with, just to put it in perspective of, like, I don't know, if you're one of those people like me that puts like, oh, I'm the problem, I'm the blah, 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 like, sometimes you just have to be like, what situation am I in? Like, are these people just going to be negative about this even when good things happen too? Like, but it's not, I don't know. So just being realistic about a situation and don't let one bad buyer, one bad seller ruin it for you, because 3 good ones are coming. 5 bad ones is 10 good ones. So
It reminds me of that Taylor Swift song, "Hi, I'm the problem, it's me." Sometimes we are the problem, really, because we don't want to communicate with the agent. Like when Mike Mudd called me over the weekend and he was like, "This agent is horrible." I'm like, do you really want to sign up to work this transaction? You only have one shot to really kind of set how this is going to go. And if you start out doing this, you're going to do that for the next at least 45 days. And that just sounds terrible to me. So, all right, next question. Krista, you're up first on this one.
Yes.
Okay?
I'm ready.
What marketing strategies have you found most effective in generating leads and selling homes?
Staying top of mind, social media.
But what do you do?
Oh.
Like, what is your jam on social media? What are some things?
Posting.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to drag it out. Okay. How often do you post?
I try to post every day.
Okay. And would you say you post mostly business, mostly personal?
Okay, I see where you're getting. I like to do a mix. Everyone can do their own thing, but I like to do a mix of everything, like my personal life, my work life, what I like to do, hobbies, things like that, because I feel like people, like Ryan said, I want people to work with me who want to work with me, who, you know, I get along with, and who our personalities kind of, and it's okay if not, but I want them to, I feel like most people want to work with you because they like you. Like, they kind of get to know you. If I don't really know them, or maybe they were a high school friend, I haven't seen them in 20 years, or, you know, a church friend from back in the day, or wherever it may be, posting your personal and work is a good mix, because they don't want to just see, oh, I just sold another house, I just pinned in another house, I just, you know, I feel like they want to see just you. So I kind of do a little bit of both.
That's an excellent answer. I can tell you something about all 4 of these ladies simply from their social media, both professionally and personally, because they both communicate what they're doing. Ashley, you're next on that question.
Okay.
What marketing strategies do you use?
So I've got a couple like core that just from feedback and whatnot that I hang on to and that I use. One, I put Louisville Realtor in my name on Instagram, and I tell everybody that, because I can't tell you, my best deals have come from that. People who didn't know me from Adam were searching for a realtor in Louisville, found me, were buying a $500,000 house, were amazing clients, have since referred me business, and before that, I didn't even know that existed. I didn't even know you could get people like that. So that's like my biggest piece of advice to people. I think I do a lot of story, and I do story every day, but I don't post a lot of like posts on busy weeks really at all. But I try to at least make like 1 post a week like that. But story I do mostly every day, and I really just try to make that like organic. You can see how I am. I try to make you laugh, or I just talk about
She
God
does
knows what.
make you laugh. I'll let you know that.
But the other thing is, I feel like a lot of people talk about like, oh, don't post the still pictures of like, just penned in this, just penned in this. My last buyers that I just met with were referred to me by another agent, and they were referred to agents, me and somebody else. And they said, she told me that she looked me up on Instagram, and the other agent had like no actual like houses. She's like, it just seemed like some random blog, and I'm like, the lady literally said to me, she was like, I looked at it and was like, does she even actually sell anything? And they said they looked me up and they saw all of that. So I think,
Are you talking about the images after you sold the house?
Yes, or like the under
very
contract.
professional looking images
yes.
from homepage?
Yeah, because those are not
Shameless plug.
those are not ones. Like people don't really interact with those. Like I might get 2
Right.
comments and not many likes, but I think that's one of those that's like a core of my business still, because people have to see that you actually do it. Like yes, show yourself in house on story. Yes, talk about it. Do all the different things. But I after that, I'm like, I believe in it again. Because I've heard things like, oh, don't do that. No one interacts with that. Blah blah blah. But people have to see those things too and know that you're not just a personality on Instagram who doesn't actually work and know what they're doing.
That's a great response. All right, Ryan C. Ryan C. I tell you what, I still don't even know how to make a cap cut, okay?
Oh my god.
That's where I'm at.
Is that a golf thing?
I had to
Is
ask
it
my
a what?
kids.
A golf thing?
A
Is it
golf thing? No, it's a social media.
No.
Oh
Oh, because she likes
Okay,
golf.
coming in August,
That's
Ryan teaches cap cut.
Oh
So-
gosh.
All
Oh
right,
gosh.
so Ryan, tell us about your marketing, because your marketing is like I said, a lot on TikTok. Would you say?
Yeah.
Again, I just
Crazy.
scroll my own
Yeah,
self
it's all
up.
over the place.
It's
Honestly,
awesome.
it is all over the place. My Instagram, I use for like my personal life. I do educational stuff on real estate and on my Instagram, but I do a lot of posts about like my family life, about homepage, about what I'm doing. I'll do video walkthroughs. I do like what you said about posting like the just listed and just sold, because I got away from that for a really long time. But then I'm like, oh, well, people need to know that I'm selling houses too. So I use my Facebook business page for a lot of that as well. But my TikTok is just a hot mess. Like I feel like people really get to know me on TikTok. They get to know me, the Hot Mess Express, and like that's how. I don't even post a lot of real estate content, but people know that I'm a real estate agent just because of my handle and my hashtags. Hashtags are huge. Like I have had so many people say that, oh, I was hashtagging Louisville Realtor, and you pop up, because if you literally go to TikTok and you put in Louisville Realtor, I've been on TikTok for so long now, I'm the first face you see. So it's like, hey, there's me. But literally I use Instagram for educational content, some behind the scenes of my daily life. I'm actually filming a video right now that I'm doing a whole behind the scenes day in my life. So really just letting people peek into my life. I post like my family stuff. I make fun of my husband a lot. And like people just, they relate, and like that is my marketing. Just me being me. And
So I'm hearing again with Ryan the authenticity of who she is, and that is totally fine if that's what you want to do.
sometimes
in
you
your
gotta tone it
business.
down just a little bit. Just
What?
tone it down just a little bit.
I love the TikTok that you did with your daughter. Is he cute? Is he not?
Oh yeah, shout out to
Oh
Charlie
my
back
God.
there.
That was crazy.
Yeah, those were good. All right, Laura, how about you? Because you used to place what, yellow page ads?
So I do, my sphere of influence is more Facebook, but I do Instagram. I haven't jumped into TikTok yet. I was going to, my kid says, Mama, please don't.
Yeah.
So I haven't done TikTok, but my Instagram, I try to kind of do some different stuff on both. And I heard one time, treat it like a cocktail party. Like don't talk about yourself all the time. Don't talk about your kid all the time. Don't do food posts, but I do some food posts.
You do, you
But,
cook a lot.
But we cook a lot, and that's part of who I am.
But
So
yeah,
being authentic, and my husband cooks, my kid cooks, we all do. So, and we eat out a lot. So,
Same.
so but I think, and
So
then
much.
we try restaurants, so because I'm actually my nail place, wherever,
Mhm.
because they buy houses too. And they like to share the videos, and you know, my kid plays music with that music group, the Louisville Leopard Percussionists. Put a plug in for them. But you know, like that, 3 or 4 people from there have bought a house. So it's like everybody you know, people move, they get divorced, they get married, they have babies. So just being top of mind. I try to keep it not real controversial. Like I try to post some, but I'm also trying to be funny too, because I have a weird warped sense of humor. But sometimes when I think something's funny and somebody else does, then I will work well with them. You know, so.
Well, I think we all want to work with people that know, like, and trust us, as opposed to those hard, difficult clients. They don't really show their true colors until we get knee deep into it, and it's too late to abandon the deal. All right, so some follow-up questions to that. I heard a lot about social media. Is there anything else? Somebody answer.
Sphere, loving on your people.
All right, how
Back
do
to
you
the
love on
basics.
your people?
Call them, text them, email them,
Okay.
drop stuff on the porch, send mailers.
Okay. Ryan,
I do
how
the
about
same
you?
thing, and like on my clients' home anniversaries, like they're probably getting cookies or flowers or something like that from me. I'm checking in. I let them know that even after we close, I'm still here. I tell them flat out in the beginning. I said, I'm the real estate agent that does not go away. Like, you're not getting rid of me. Like, after closing, I am still there. You need a plumber, you need a roofer, you need a contractor, you want to get your picture taken, hey, I got you. Let's make things happen. So I just let them know that I don't go away.
Okay, I like that. Laura?
Also, I think engaging with their posts on social media. So
Yes,
it's not
yes.
just I'm posting this, but looking at their stuff, hitting the like button,
Happy birthday,
commenting,
happy birthday,
birthdays.
happy anniversaries.
And,
Yes.
and I also, you know, the thing about social media is it's a touch, it's a reminder of who you are, but then in real life too, you see them somewhere, you give them a hug, you talk to them, you know. I will send texts sometimes other than just a social media, it's just more personal. Or a call, just to call them, hey, I was just thinking about this, it made me laugh, you know, that kind of thing, so.
That's good. It's a good segue. Ashley, how about you? Besides social media, what do you do?
I mean, I guess some of the same things like calls and texts. I haven't, because I guess so busy in the beginning of the year, like switching over all of that. I haven't really gotten back into like mail marketing and everything. But ideally, I do mail marketing like my past clients. And then, I mean, yeah, I like and comment. I like people's story all the time. I think it's the easiest thing.
Yes.
And I just think social media is like the cheapest because it's free and the biggest effect, you know, with things. So I also try to, another way like I engage people a lot is sometimes I try to talk about like the other side of real estate that people don't see. Like sometimes the losses too. Like I don't want to come on there and be super negative, but sometimes people don't like, hey, these things happen, this is how you figure it out. And I find that a lot of people engage with that stuff, like other agents. And I think that's another thing too that's been a core of my business is like meeting other agents in the business on it, or just like other people being aware of me. And then like when you offer on their listing, there's 5 other offers. Like they know who you are, but they don't know who the other 4 people are. So I think that's another core piece of my business in general. Yeah.
Excellent. Ryan, one thing I saw that you do, and y'all may have done it too, maybe I just didn't see it. One of the things I love about July 4th is putting the flags out in your neighborhood. They're so cheap. I saw, not just Ryan, I saw some other homepage agents doing that. I had plans of putting mine out, but then I got sick, so now I got sick for, what's the next one?
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
I'm
There
not
we
gonna
go.
like that on Labor Day. I got blisters on my fingers from like putting those down in
Oh
the
my God.
dang on hard
Gotta wear
dirt.
gloves.
I know that now.
Well, let me ask
Rookie
you this.
mistake.
Did anyone call you and say, why'd you put a flag in my yard?
Absolutely not. My neighborhood loved it. South End proud baby.
Okay.
Your card, how to.
No, I did not put anything
Oh, so
on
you
those
just put a
flags.
card on it?
Oh,
You
hell
just
no.
put a
No, I
flag.
just put the flags. But like, you know,
Okay.
I posted on social media, and then so that post got shared to our neighborhood Facebook group, and then all of my neighbors actually helped me pick up all the flags and brought them back to me for next year. So
Did they really?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
how great is
Wow.
that? Okay, so I wouldn't have thought about that. Don't put your card on it, because then.
No, no.
And
I didn't
then-
market it at all. I just did it
And
to be
maybe-
an American.
There you go.
Patriot.
I love it. Okay, great. All right, we are gonna move on to our next question. Laura, you're gonna be up first for this one. What tips do you have for agents to avoid burnout?
Ooh,
Because we have all been there, I think, at some point in time.
plan the vacations, baby. Sorry.
Yeah, we all go on vacations, and we take our laptop and we take our phone, and then you get done and you're like, okay, my family's, didn't get to really spend time with them. This last year, this is Matthew's last year before he goes off to college, so I want to be really intentional about when I'm on a vacation, being on vacation. I have Betsy and Sarah, are y'all here?
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of my little people that I've just sort of, hey, you want to watch my stuff? And I don't ask them to do it for free, right? You pay to show a house, you pay if they have to write a contract or a repair request, I pay a different amount for that. So getting some trusted people, they kind of know how you operate. And also, I think both of them conduct their business similarly to mine, so they would be a good fit when I'm not around for my buyer or my seller to talk to. And I think that's important. I don't know how you're gonna find somebody. But
Hey, shout out to Betsy and Sarah, because when I was on vacation, they helped me. They helped me too. They helped
maybe
me too.
they can shake.
Krista, how do you avoid burnout? Because you've been in long enough to experience it, I know for sure.
Lots of things. So every appointment, the best thing Carrie ever told me was every appointment is an appointment, sis. I don't care whether that is showing a house, getting your hair done, getting a pedicure. Every appointment's an appointment. So I put it in my calendar and take time for myself. Like I said, whatever I want to do, go to the gym, play pickleball, whatever that may be. Delegating, allowing people to help you when you're out of town, or maybe paying someone to deliver my pop buys, things like that, so you can kind of focus on getting new clients and working your deals. Also, staying organized. I feel like staying organized is a huge one because it keeps you from going crazy. So if you do the things as you go, that helps. And planning vacations to reset and recharge.
I like that. Those are all good answers. I like to turn my phone on, do not disturb. There are no real estate emergencies at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And if there is one, I am not the fire department, nor am I a medical professional.
That's
So,
a good one too.
shout out to Nancy. I knew she'd laugh with that one. Okay, awesome. Ryan, how do you avoid the burnout? Because as much as you post on TikTok, I assume you're working around the clock.
I do work a lot. However, one of the best things that I did for myself in my business was hire a transaction coordinator to help me with all of my paperwork and my back end stuff, because that allows me to be out in the community and trying to get more business and not worrying about like the paperwork and getting sued because I closed 68 deals last year. That's a lot. So someone helping me with that. Vacations, I actually took a vacation, was actually able to chill not too long ago. Delegating, just asking for help, which I always have such a hard time doing, but asking for help and allowing people to help me has really helped my business.
That's hard for me too.
Yeah.
I think we all experience a little bit of, we don't want to lose control, but there's a certain point, whatever your threshold is, where you're going to have to enlist some help or be okay with getting burned out.
Yeah.
Choices
I was getting
yours.
burned out. I was
Oh,
like,
I
oh my
remember.
gosh, I'm like,
Because you do
I
a
know.
really high number of
Yeah,
transactions.
it was a lot. And you know what else? I now have someone pick up my laundry and do my laundry for me too, because that you were like, what someone told me was like, time is money. Like if I can have someone pick up my laundry on Tuesday, deliver it on Wednesday, just the things that you can delegate to other people to where you can be out in your community and getting more business, like that's just gonna help you.
If you're doing more of what you love and delegating the stuff
Exactly.
you don't love, just like I hate paperwork, it's my kryptonite. So I try to just pay somebody else to do that.
Yeah.
And wipe that off my plate. Then I can, because if you're doing stuff you love, it doesn't feel like work.
Exactly.
So you won't get burnt out as much.
Excellent.
100%.
Did you answer that question?
I haven't.
All right, finish this up with that one,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna open it up to y'all to ask any questions that you want that they are not prepared for. Okay?
I think, well, obviously with real estate, the list is endless. You can always be doing more. You can always be. I think what helps me is like doing, okay, if there's one hard thing that I don't want to do it first. I don't know why I'm like this, but I hate checking the hot sheet. I hate it. It's like, I don't know, I just hate it. So I try to do that first, like in my business day. What I'm trying to, like the recent thing I've been working on with myself is just like, one, like constantly reflecting of like, instead of just letting yourself get to that burnout, like constantly checking yourself, like today I felt like this, today I felt like this, today I felt like this. Because I think I'm in the position now where like, I do a decent amount of volume like most of the time, and so starting to work those systems into where I'm not bogged down by 4 clients because of paperwork or something like that. So I think that because I had a transaction coordinator, now I don't, so I'm juggling it all, and so I'm trying to work back to like getting back there. But my thing is like, okay, yes, you have this endless list of things you should be doing. Pick one thing that you can move your business forward in one thing. So like, it's really hard. I mean, it's easy on like a Monday to be like, okay, today I should have a new video content thing. I should be doing mailers. I should be hiring a transaction coordinator. I need to, like there's endless things. So I think just picking and planning, like this week I'm gonna work on this, or this day I'm gonna work on this, like just setting one intentional thing. Because also then at the end of the day, you're not like, okay, I worked 8-10 hours, but I feel like I didn't do anything. Like you can go back and be like, well, I check this off. And so that's what I've been trying to be more like small and actionable and not overwhelming myself with. Yes, there's endless things, but like if I did that one thing, then I checked off the day, and that's, and then the other thing too is I'm a believer in the spontaneous day off. Like we all work hours we weren't planning to work, and we all.
I just beg for one a week.
Yes, yeah, no, that's how I am, and I'm trying to get to where my goal in my business is in the next year is setting a day where I do not show houses. I do not like setting a day where like it's worth it to me to pay someone to do this, no matter how much comes up or like what happens. So I'm trying to figure that out because I'm just a firm believer you can do that. Anyone can do that, and then
I don't care what day it is.
right.
Yeah,
but I'm a
just
believer
give me
for
one
the
Whatever day works out that week.
yes,
Works
yeah.
for me.
I'm a because we all worked hours we weren't planning to work. Like
Yeah.
tonight I'm gonna never mind. Now I gotta show 3 houses. Now I
Yeah.
gotta run an hour. Now it's 10 p.m. and I was gonna take half the day off.
Monday.
I'm like, well.
So like I try to keep track of that because, and then when if I need 3 days off and I actually can take it, then I actually just take it. So I think because work is so
Now you know who to
spontaneous.
call for help.
Right.
To do that, right? We've got the vacation crew back there. I love it. So,
Every time I have time off though, I have anxiety because I'm like, what am I forgetting to do?
Yeah.
So I make a list, and then if things are done on the list, then I can relax more.
does anybody have a question they want to ask?
Yeah.
Mary?
Hi, Mary.
What quality do you think you have that makes you a top producer and sets you apart from other agents?
Oh, that's a good one.
Like the drive, the hustle. We know that like our success is dependent on what we get up and do every day. So like we get up and we work on our business and we check in with our clients. So really just like the drive and like the hustle and knowing that we determine how successful we're gonna be. So I mean, I think
Get up, dress up, show up.
get up, dress up, show up.
So the drive, the ambition. Laura, how about you?
She asked what quality we had, like what quality we think we have that makes us a top producer.
I try to be relatable. I try to, when I talk to somebody, I'm always finding what we have in common, what there's always something that I'm like, oh yeah, like I can't remember who it is. Somebody here used to also work for AT&T. We have like 5 things in common. So I think being relatable, and then I was a waitress before I sold Yellow Pages, and I think how a waitress checks on 10 tables at one time. Those are my buyers. You just
Multitasking.
yeah.
There's
Hopping
one
back and
thing,
forth.
if you have ever worked in a restaurant, you'll be great in the real estate industry because the skills transfer so well. I know personally because I've been there. Krista, you've been
If you need a
there.
side gig, I have a restaurant for you.
Shameless plug again.
All right, Ashley, 30-second response. What is your quality?
I would say the warmth and I think being able to show who I am on social media, and then that like attracting people. So like the warmth and building trust that way, that people don't have to know me, but they feel
You
like they know
smile
me.
too. You're smiling.
I'm a smiler, yes.
Good. Krista, how about you?
Get up, dress up, show up.
Yeah.
Multitasking,
Multitasking?
understanding, and listening.
Excellent.
Lots.
So one thing for me is really understanding my why I got into this business, why I choose to wake up and deal with crazy every day. And that's because I just, in my core, cannot stand to see someone being taken advantage of. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you look like, I don't care what kind of economic status you come from. I just can't stand to see people taken advantage of in real estate because I was taken advantage of. So really focusing on the why. So, all
That's a
right.
good one.
Justice.
Oh, thank you. Yes, justice, right? You know, I'm doing the
balance.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one last question. All right, Jamie.
My question is specifically for Ryan, because we both work Zillow leads.
We do.
So how do you plan to have that conversation about buyer agreements, specifically about the commission with a stranger?
Actually, I just had one recently, and I just kind of broke it down, and it was kind of in a text message, and I was like, I'm gonna send you this, I want you to look it over, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm like, this is what it's coming to, and then I've also created a video of myself explaining like what's going on, and I text it to him, and I'm like, hey, just watch this. This is kind of what's going on in the real estate industry. This is why this document's important. I haven't done a lot of Zillows, but this one that I recently just got, that's how I did it with them. A video, I think, is great. And that reminds me, speaking of sending a video to someone, an agent in California sent me a referral, and when he sent me a text, he sent me a video of himself and talking about, hey, I saw you had a bunny rabbit. I think I have clients that are moving to Kentucky. I think you'd be a great fit. My name's Ryan too. And it was just like literally him talking. So I was like, oh, well that guy's cool. And like he sent me a referral. But videos I think are great.
That's
and
cool.
yeah, just send a
That's a good
video. Like
'Cause that
of
gives
you
your
explaining.
personality.
Yeah, and it's I think it's less scary than just like a text message or like trying to explain it
Or
over the
saying it
phone.
out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of Zillow leads when I was on a team, and I think another like one-liner for that is this is something that other states have done for years and years. Kentucky was always behind. Now it's become like a national thing that this is the practice of business.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's
But give
great.
them the like, okay, do you want to meet before or after? Because then if you can do that buyer consult and sit down with them, that's what I would always do. And then if they can't commit to that, then they can't commit to you or buying a house.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even think that would be an option to meet after, because they have to sign it before.
Yeah, it's not, it's really legally not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
Like
a
a
video, like,
Yeah.
and like just show them the form and be like, you know,
I would want to
this
get in
is
front of
required.
them, but that's just me.
I know it's hard when you work Zillow leads though, like,
Yeah.
because you want to meet them first and like get like a feel for them. Obviously, we do the forewarn and make sure they're not murderers and stuff. But like, that it is different. It's gonna be different. But I think a video is a great way to break it down and explain it to them.
You can even have like a batch one.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, that's
Where
what
you're
it
not
is.
wasting your
Send it.
time.
Yeah, you just send it to them. Like just keeping your camera on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the media team would be happy to record.
Ooh, I'm about to get a fancy one.
Video
Oh
for
yeah.
you. Look at Randy looking around over there.
Getting out something on the calendar.
Excellent idea. All right, Ashley, Laura, Ryan, Krista, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this, for sharing your knowledge. Homepage believes very much in collaboration. You will not always see the same faces on a panel. There will not always be, like I said, top producer panels. So, because it takes all kinds of us in this business to really collaborate and work together. And someone who has been in the business for, a day could have a phenomenal idea that we love. So, all right, ladies, thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you guys for staying. All right, let's go sell some houses.
Yep. Where's Rick?
Where's Rick? All right. Looks like you're going to show us with me, so I'm going to take you home. Where's your charger?
Track it.
It's at home.
Save it.
I think there's one in the car.